What is up, you beauties? My name is BatchatBegins, and today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at Mad Games. What are some of the best abilities and tanks to use them with? Well, today we are going to hop right in and start with the Irradiator and the Armor Regenerator ability. You'll find this on a lot of light tanks, and it is not only good for you, but it is good for your friendly team as well, because this combo can go ahead and boost you and your allies' potential damage by 50%. As you saw, I did about 500 to that IS-7 when he was crossing, and now with this isolated 183, we're basically like a mobile 4005, and as you see, we're going to get a max roll here of 621. Absolutely crazy. So what does it specifically do? Well, 50% damage to an enemy vehicle when they are marked, and it has a decent cooldown, so you can't really spam it too much. But if you are running your epic cooldown boosters, you can reduce the cooldown of all of the abilities in Mad Games. So if you have those, go ahead and use them. It's a ton of fun. As you can see, I am just assisting my IS-4 with this chieftain, and we're going to absolutely destroy his HP. This guy was nearly fully HP when we started out. Now he is a one-shot for the rest of our team. Did a great job of going ahead and isolating that guy there. And as you can see, working with that same IS-4 later on in the battle, marking the IS-7, dealing 498 with the first shot, coming around and getting a nice one into his side. And all we have left is the enemy T-62A. A big thing I will say with this ability is don't forget, in the slow parts of the battle, when people are just sitting at the back, you can heal your allies. So if anybody does take a massive shot, make sure to go ahead and load that HE, and you can go ahead and heal your allies on your team, making it a bit easier for you to push later on in the battle. That's a nice 5k game, and now we move on into two of the abilities that I am not particularly fond of in this game mode because they don't tend to work that often. And the first here is Chameleon Concealment and Battle Coordinator. Now, Chameleon lets you go invisible for a short period of time and boosts your engine power and your top speed. Battle Coordinator, on the other hand, boosts your view range, it boosts your reload, and it boosts your aim time. And that's great and all when your team is near you. As you can see, this is a fairly standard battle on Himmelstork, but my team have decided to hold spawn and then flank the enemy team for no reason. So this Battle Coordinator is not doing me any good. I'm having to sit here and fight the C-100 with no bonuses, and eventually just having to run away and try and escape. You can't really count on your team for support in these game modes, so it's much better to play something that's fun, that doesn't make you have to rely on your team to actually do well. And even if your goal isn't to do well, this isn't particularly a fun ability by any means. I would much rather play a tank like the Mouse, where it has the damage boost and the reduction in hit points taken. I would much rather play that, but I had to go ahead and show this because this is one of the more common abilities you're going to find. It happens to be one of the ones that's on most of the TDs. Battle Coordinator is just not a fun ability if you're looking to have fun in this game mode. The next ability is by far the most fun in the entire game mode, in my opinion, and that is the combination of Chameleon Concealment and Rammer Rig. And holy cow, can you absolutely wreck an enemy team with this ability if they don't see it coming. This IS-5 just wanted to go ahead and cap B, but with Rammer Rig, we're dealing 75% more damage than usual and taking 65% less damage than usual. The Panther II is by far the best tank to play this with. It weighs 55 tons, and it already goes very fast, meaning that when using Chameleon Concealment, you double that top speed and that power to weight ratio, and you absolutely wreck enemy teams. Just destroyed the IS-5 and absolutely annihilated that ISU. And we don't want to go ahead and go toe-to-toe with the T-34-3 because he also has Rammer Rig, but he has the speed-boosted Rammer Rig, which I find is a little bit harder to control, so it's a lot more fun to play tanks like this, in my opinion. We already knew that the Defender had that reverse ability, and I figured he was going to try and reverse onto me, so we got behind him just enough so that he would ram us instead when he reversed, which absolutely worked out to our favor. Already up to 3.4k. We know we saw an ISU earlier. As we can see, he is behind us. He just shot, so now we are going to go ahead, use Chameleon Concealment, go ahead and ram this guy and take off all of his HP. A 700 damage ram, always fun to see. So we're getting into the last two guys on the battlefield, and as we're doing this, I do have to mention, if you are playing with any tank that has this ability, let's say the Panther II, 234-3, 262A, Leopard 1, anybody who has the Rammer Rig ability. It's best to kind of wait for an opportunity to go ahead and rush the enemy team instead of going ahead and blindly rushing, because a lot of the time you will rush in, you might get the ram, but then you get obliterated after, and you will lose a lot of credits, even with a premium account. So go ahead, guys, take your time and make those calculated rams. I'll see you on the battlefield, and I'll try and be avoiding you at that point. Anyway, I want to get into what I think is the most fun in this game mode for me, and that is the Half-Life Discharge and the Armor Regenerator ability, and you can find that on a lot of autoloaders and a lot of fast-firing heavies. Specifically, this platoon that I am in right now, the Emil 1951 and the Action X, is an amazing platoon. I just want to go ahead, take a quick break, and say hello to the subscribers that were in this battle. I had a great time, guys, and thank you for being such good sports. But the really big thing about this platoon is the Action X and the Emil are fantastic healers, and they can heal each other very, very effectively in the battlefield, and I carry extra HE just for that reason. As you can see, I've lost a good bit of hit points here, but my Action 10 is healing me, and I'm already almost back up to full HP in no time, because not only am I healing myself, but I am being healed from the Action X as well. Another thing that is very important with this platoon is that you're making a ton of credits. The Emil just came out, but I will let you guys know, and I'll put it in the review when I do it later on this week. It has the best credit coefficient for any premium tank at tier 8. So, playing tanks like the Emil 1951, the Action X, and the Shark at tier 8 are very, very worth it, because you're dealing that extra damage per shot, therefore highly increasing that credit coefficient. I can tell you, with the Emil, I was getting at least 150,000 credits per game, and if you combine those with the epic credit boosters that you can get from crates and combining other boosters, you can go ahead and get a massive credit buffer in-game, which will help you research tanks, and it will also help you to buy provisions and equipment for your tanks, which will make them much stronger and a lot more deadly on the battlefield. At the end of this battle, this AMX 5100 stands absolutely no chance against the combined healing and the DPM from my team, and there's no way I'm going to be dying to this guy while I have this extra damage and the healing from my platoon mate. So GG's. I hope you guys are having a ton of fun in Mad Games. I know it's been one of the longest standing game modes in the game, and it is personally one of my favorites. Anyway, guys, all the relevant links will be down in the description below. This has been BatchatBegins, and I'll see you guys in the next one.